finale of a season. This is the first one I think that we've come up on, yeah, from things that we're watching this season on the channel specifically. I mean, that's, I guess, due to the fact that Spice and Wolf's multi-cored and had some delays with other things. And yeah, so I guess that makes sense. Very excited, I guess, to see how they're going to wrap things up. I think it makes enough sense. Like, I think the direction we're going, I don't think they're going to throw us for a loop or like something crazy is going to happen. It's just going to be playing more off of how we ended the previous episode and what we've been kind of building up. Almost hyped to build up a new arc, probably, that will likely fully begin and kick into action when second season stuff comes around, and for people who don't want to sit around and wait and get into the manga and go do that. So I'm assuming it'll be a bit more tame and just more introduction and familiarity when it comes to other characters, but maybe introduction of other people that will be leading into us going up against at some point here would kind of be my guess. So I'm just hoping we have some fun, really, I guess, to send us off here. I hope you guys are as well. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave me comments with this episode or series. After the discussion, I'll talk about the entirety of season 1 as a whole, some thoughts, opinions, some feelings overall, things I love, things I didn't, you know, everything, all that good stuff that I love so much. And so hopefully you stick around for that if you're interested. Timestamp will be in the description if you just want to skip along to that. Let's get going though with episode 13, or the season 1 finale of Windbreaker. The whole squad. Brother, you gotta use your words. This is like the people who don't know who others are. You don't know when somebody's status is really high versus people who are just like unfamiliar. Like if you go into a new territory or country or something, it's good. I'm assuming all the ones behind them are the higher ups within their own division that fall directly under. We're having a party. Oh. Let's go. What a sweet guy. Oh, there's gonna be one. Let's go. Yeah, come on. They're always shutting him down. I guess. He's so great. Big thing to have a leader bow his head in front of others, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. Cool. Cool. He made eye contact with me. What do I do? He doesn't know anybody. How are you shocked by this still? I hate when they put the names on the side. I can't turn my head and read all that. Can't say I'm surprised, but yeah. I just love how everybody realizes how big of a deal this is, but Sakura. I'm good. No, I'm good off that. Let's... Yeah. It was cool at one point, but... Okay. I like the idea of introducing another group or people here at the end. Also, I wonder if they're looking for the other kid in our class who got his ass kicked before.
ちょうど探してたんだ。
I like their jackets.
でも君らのどれでもないな。じゃあね。
What is the symbol on their back? Show that.
あのマークってもしかして。
Hmm.
白いジャケットに青の竜骨。キールだ。
Keel.
ールなんだそいつら。
俺も詳しくないけど、規模はそれほど大きくないらしい。でも雰囲気通り、いい噂は聞かないチームだ。
あんた大丈夫かい？
Gonna be our boy. He's hiding in the corner. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's him.
安西さん？
Alright, cool. So basically, as I was talking about last time, what I was expecting was he probably had a run in with another group, and that's going to be what we have to go up with against now. Yeah. Cool.
とりあえずうちで休んでいきな。あ
Ah, you found me. Ugh.
それがよ。犬
And it's probably him trying to hide it, keep them out of it.
でっかいクマみたいな。
Right, doesn't want to cause things
そこに隠
to...
れてやり過ごしたんだけど。
Okay.
安心したら
No escalation is what he's going for.
安西君、そのクマはどこに行けばいいのか
It'd be good training.
手合わせしたい。
つげちゃん、クマじゃないよ。
おめえよ。つくならもっとマシな嘘つけよ。
そうっすね。さくらさんがわかるほど
Yeah, that's crazy.
あったの？
Will you answer it?
何のことだ。
Wow, I couldn't tell for... Yeah, come on.
あ、もしかしてビール？
Right.
になってからだぞ。じゃあおばちゃん、俺行くわ。
Oh, told us all we need to know.
ああ、行くんだったらこれって
何もしてないのにいいんでしょうか？
何言って
Just the group you're a part
んだ
of.
ら風鈴の子みんな息子みたいなもんなんだから。
なあ、そう。なんで安西君とキエルが関係あるって分かった？
I mean, they were looking for somebody. He was bleeding and beaten. Like, right.
安西君の様子か
It
ら
all just kind
も
of
しかして
adds
と思っ
up.
て行ってみただけ。でもまあ、当たりみたいだ。
I'm glad Soa's like smart as hell. Like, he's just us. He understands everything.
あの傷はキールにやられたってことですよね。だったら助けないとですよ、さくらさん。クラスメートのユージで。
Right, but get it through your head that that's why he didn't tell you anything, because he's not trying to allow this to escalate.
ってことは、あいつなりの考えがある
No.
だろうし。
And there's reasons for that that we don't
本当に助けて
know.
欲しいかどうかだって分かんねえだろ。
でも、
誰にだって聞かれたくねえことの一つや二つあんだろ。
And they'd rather deal with on their own than drag others in.
それでも、
But still, you have a point.
さくらさんまだ話が。
あら、あんたも帰っちゃうの？
I keep making all this damn food and everybody keeps leaving.
せなかった。あのチームマジでやばいぜ。
Bring him back from the...
取り返しのつかないとこまで行っ
Since he's in the group doing things he shouldn't, or they literally just captured, bro.
ポーフーリンは街を守るためのチームなんだ。これは俺の個人的な問題。みんなは巻き込めない。
Yeah.
だったら次は私も行く。
I
なん
wouldn't.
か言ってんだ。
Yeah.
危なすぎるだろ。
But I get it, but no.
大丈夫。任せとけって。俺一人でやってやるさ。
It's that feeling of putting up the front in front of that person, but we can clearly see that he doesn't mean it. Or he does mean it, but he knows he's not capable.
何が大丈夫なのよ。
おい。今の話、詳しく聞かせろ。
I can't drag everyone into this. Or maybe you can't, but I can.
今の話詳しく聞かせろ。
Yeah. Technically, he didn't do it if you do this. She's gonna do it too.
私と安西
Cool.
は幼馴染で
小さい頃からよくこの公園で遊んでた。ずっと私たちの無茶に付き合ってくれてた。高校に入ってからはバラバラになっちゃったけど、ずっと仲のいい幼馴染でいられると思ってた。でもあれ、安西じゃん。久しぶり。って卒業してまだそんなに経ってないけどね。ああ、その顔また喧嘩したんでしょ。
Brother looks like he's seen a ghost. What's up?
またかって。長門にも会いたくなってきた
Or
な。
was it him?
この傷、キールってチームのやつにやられたんだ。
キール？
今日そいつらの一人がひったくりしてんのを見つけて捕まえようとしたんだ。
And it was
家
him.
の外だったけどほっとくわけにもいかないからさ、腕掴んで
Turn around, his hood came off, and it
フー
was.
ド取って、
Yeah.
そしたらさ、
You couldn't believe what had become of somebody who was so close to you and you cared so much for.
長門だったんだよ。
Okay.
話を聞くはずだったんだけど、
Instead, they beat the fuck out of him.
ボロボロになって帰ってきた。
How do I handle it?
幼馴染が大変なと。
hmm No, but you just did. That's the thing. You just did.
悔しい。自分に力がないのが悔しい。
Your words were very powerful right now.
分かった。
Fine, I'll do
長門ってやつを
something.
ここに引っ張ってくりゃいいんだな。
でも風鈴は町を守るチームで、安西は負け。
Yeah, I'm doing it on my own. Nobody said we're taking the whole team.
俺はお前より力があるんだし。
そこは任せとけでいいのよ。
だから
Look at her, the queen herself, telling him.
任せとけ。
あんたいいやつなんだね。なんかちょっと安心したらお腹空いてきちゃった。
あ
Give her the bag.
ねえぞ。
あ、うん、いらないわよ。
I love that. That was great.
なあ、おはようさん、さくら
You
君。
don't even gotta tell them. I bet they already know.
いや、本当なんだって。クマと取っ組み合いになってやっとの思いで逃げたんだって。
嘘つけよ。誰にやられたんだ？
笑わねえから言ってみろ。
Right, because it's not funny when they tell them either. They're willing to stick up for you and help. But I get his reasoning.
さくらくん、昨日は安西くんと話せた？
何のことだ。
わかりやすいな。さくらちゃんも。
No secrets being kept here.
お前に渡してくれってフードかぶっててよ。君の悪いやつ。
Uh-oh. Sending a warning. Uh-oh. Well, a little too easy to read. We might not have to explain it to anyone.
安西さん？え、さくらさん？おい、待て！待て！
They love having fun with running scenes. Ah, it looks so fun.
待てよ！なんなんだよ！どけよ！昨日公園でお前と一緒にいた女に話は聞いたぞ。
Mm.
なんで土屋に？んなことは今どうでもいい。それ、キールからだろ。
I'm assuming it's a picture of his boy beat the fuck up. Yeah. Okay. I was suspecting that was the case, and he's probably doing things that maybe he doesn't really want to and got roped into something like this, and they're just kind of utilizing him for that.
詳しく話せ。安西。
I don't know.
そいつのフードを取ったんだ。
Just put his head down and ran. He really took it to the extreme.
俺の幼馴染、長門だった。
The face he's making too. The small little cues that it's almost like he doesn't want to be there doing that.
愛ならしょうがない。またあれやろっか。一発1000円。10発で1万持ってきたことにしてあげる。 はい1000円2000円
Alright, he's a lot more capable than I thought he was gonna be. What the fuck? They just got too much numbers, though. I wonder if he's the same as them. He doesn't want to drag others into this, so he's trying to push him away here.
お前には関係ないだろ
I'll handle it all on my own.
俺が決めたんだここにいるって口出ししないでくれよこんだけクソみたいなことされてんのに言い続けるってどういうことだ
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
でもあいつ
But I guess there could be a couple of reasons.
俺はあいつをあそこから引っ張り出す
But can you do that alone?
行くぞ
Be honest with yourself.
なんで桜まで行くんだよこれは俺個人の問題だそれに相手は本当にヤバい奴らなんだそんなことにお前を
I love how he's showing his leader side here, right?
相手が誰だろうと関係ねえし風鈴の人間として行くつもりもねえ約束しちまったからなあの女と長門ってやつを引っ張ってくるって
I'm just going as myself.
何お前が中心みたいな言い方してんだよこれは俺の問題だ
なるほど。そういうこと。
There's no way you're getting in there without any of them listening in. Come on. The whole class, too. I thought it was just going to be our little group. Fucking awesome. Right, but they're also a team that protects each other. This is a group activity. You must come with us. Plus, you'll have some fun defending your own honor, you know, and fighting. He's gonna see the whole squad moving out together. Immediately. Let's move. And a wrap on the season. Interesting teaser and all sorts to lead us towards what is to come for season 2, which has, I have seen, been confirmed, coming for 2025. So that is a cool thing. It's something I definitely do look forward to. I will say now, I have no idea. It depends on when it comes out. Timeline, if I will be watching or not. I enjoyed overall this entire experience quite a bit, but if it takes like a year and a half to come out, right, and it's like fall 25, who even knows where I'm gonna be by then? You know what I mean? So it's like we can't make any promises. If it's like winter, I'll probably be here because winter season usually kind of sucks for anime. So being able to include like another series definitely can't hurt. It also just depends. You know, you find this in the middle of a complete stack season, we'll have to see. Also, this is a series where I have talked about before, where I've been like, yeah, I kind of am interested in just going and reading the manga because it seems like just overall a pretty fun and enjoyable journey to go through. But I say that with a lot of series and I never actually go read it because I'm lazy. So I'll probably just end up waiting, if we're being honest. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good ending to this. Now, I am left conflicted if I would have liked... I think it works like this. If we were only getting one season, this is the perfect end for it. Because then it teases you and it leads you enough to be interested to go and read the manga, right? But knowing that there's another season around the corner, this still works as a way to tease it and lead you into and get you excited and invested into what's to come. But the only thing I would say I don't love about it is the teasing and almost set up entirely of a new arc, because now before I go watch that season, I'm gonna have to remember and probably rewatch this entire episode just to get caught back up to like the general gist of what we were setting up here, and what was coming, which I think like is something that could work in its entirety almost like really well if you just put it at the beginning of the season as opposed to putting it at the end of one, and then causing like the viewer themselves to go on like that long of a break afterwards. So I don't know exactly, I guess, which way I would feel towards like which one I like better. And I think overall I do like the inclusion in the way that they did better here, because we do go on like a proper like full circle moment almost for Sakura, which I think is like contains itself within this one season extremely nice, and really just like lets you know we can move on to a new chapter almost, going forward. And that being more so where we find him at the beginning of the series in episode 1, thinking that he has to come here. He has this goal in mind. He has to do these things himself. He doesn't want to have to worry about or rely on other people, or he doesn't care how others see him or what's going to end up happening. But he's very focused on this one thing that he has to do. And he struggles to really connect and understand and, you know, bring other people into these things, just also due to a lot of the stuff that he's had to go through in his own life up to this point. But we're able to fully see that realized once again as we see somebody like Anzai at the end who is kind of in that similar spot. While he's a little emotionally different, I would say, than Sakura, of course, definitely still struggling, not understanding why everybody's going to come in and help him, wanting to be so focused on doing things himself, having to prove to himself that he's strong and being strong enough to go and save these people that are around him, and doesn't want to have to look at himself like he's kind of below and beneath anybody, and he doesn't really care. I think is pretty sick of Sakura to come full circle here and actually be the one who's putting somebody else almost in their place, similar to how the group did when they came in the first episode and kind of shut things down and helped him out in the fight that he was in. I think all worked itself out extremely nice, and the big old thumbs up from me, because that just shows excellent growth overall, and we get to see that for his character entirely throughout the core of the season. But mainly, like, we can just look at and reflect on this episode and the things that he does in the vivid memories and like recalling exactly what, say, like Kotoha told him at certain moments, but just also remembering probably a bunch of the other little things that he took in from the other members of the group, that he utilized and put forward within his conversation with the girl in the park, and he put forward within his own kind of version of going out of his way and seeking out what actually happened in the situation while everybody else stayed behind after they all went out together. And all of that is really nice to see, because it's him taking internally all these things that everybody else has told him, and he's really developing himself, and he's really coming into his own, and starting to realize exactly what he struggled with the last couple episodes of why they were nominating him, why they wanted him as the leader, why, like, all of that, what exactly his role was, what he's capable of, what his purpose is. And he finds that here again, right? What can you do? Start by figuring out the things that you can do. And the first thing is figure out exactly what's going on in that situation and just hear somebody out. And then you can make your decision. You can figure out what goes on from there. But he slowly is able to. He figures out, okay, I can go get some information out of this. Let me talk to this person. Let me figure this out. Now let me go back and figure out what I have to do. Is it smart for me to bring everybody else in the group, or directly just go talk to this person? Just taking things, everything, like one step at a time, and being that like rock, almost being that person that everybody else can kind of look up to, go to, and actually feel like they can openly express themselves about any of these scenarios that are occurring around you, which definitely allows him to, I don't know, it comes full circle. It's really nice to see. And I think they did a really excellent job with that. Not saying like we'll move into a new season or anything and we'll just cut that out and it's like we don't have to worry about growth or anything for him, because he definitely has a lot of, you know, maturity and stuff that he still has to go through. But we've seen that growth already within him up to this point, that if we want to maybe sidetrack that a little bit and go a little bit more focus on entirety of the group or other aspects or other members and stuff within it, we can also do that and not really have to focus and make that like our main thing, because we are seeing that he's slowly developing himself within the background, which I think it works itself out really nice. It really does. And I do appreciate that, because it's not like while he definitely had a lot of focus on it, it's just little things like that that I'm mentioning that have happened throughout this. They're not directly stated from other characters or anything, being like, oh, look how much you've grown, or oh, look, you would have done this before. Or even Sakura reflecting on himself and being like, damn, I wouldn't have done this, or I would have been in this situation, or I would have thought of things this way instead. It's more of just witnessing it and seeing this happen in real time of this person kind of changing, and it's really nice. We got OP list, which I'm a little bit upset about. I'm not gonna lie. I am a little bit upset about that. Introduction to the leaders of all the four kings, which is pretty cool. So I'm assuming everybody else that backs them up and follows them is probably like their own little subgroup and vice commanders and stuff that fall under them. And then we have like the actual captains and the heads of the grades and stuff that fall into that as well. Probably, I mean, I don't remember. They gave us a graph in one of the earlier episodes. I can go back if I really want it. I love Ume just lowering his head here, and everybody being like almost shocked by that, but being able to see like even he doesn't think that he's so far above you that he's incapable or just unable of doing this, and he's still willing to put himself in these positions to let you know how much that he is really relying on caring for you and needs you guys to actually operate and allow him to be who he is and have the status and all the change and everything that we're going through. We introduce a bunch of the members, everybody gets a little bit familiar with each other, and we can rely on each other. Pretty sick, pretty cool, walking throughout the streets, and here's your little teaser. Hey, look what's coming, look who's here, you know. I love the shadowing on the face. Instead of just making it fully black, it makes it a lot more scary by having like little sketches underneath it, or just the little lines, but also having like the little other white spots that get shown through. I think work really well. They have a pretty cool logo. I think it works well on their little hoods. I like their jackets. They're pretty sick, and they're kind of creepy and they're kind of scary until we end up finding our boy, and we're like, what the fuck ended up happening here? Tries to make up some bullshit ass stories. Nobody's buying it at all. We don't want to hear it. And of course, Sakura is like, fuck it, I gotta go follow brother and figure out, because everybody else wants to know what's going on too, because they all really want to help. Unable to bring him back. Not cool, not good. How did that end up happening? Refuses to really come forward and express anything, reach out and get help from others, fully wanting to put it on himself. This is like one of those like heartbreak moments that you see, right? When a person who is clearly at like the end, like they really can't, like there's not much more he can do. Look at the state that he already found himself in, right? And he knows that. Deep down, he knows that. And he still has to put up this mask and this front for this person that he truly does care about a lot, to let them know that he's going to fulfill this wish or this promise and everything that he has. And she can see right through it. She knows for a fact that's not the case either, but he's trying to put up with it. And it's just like, buddy, you don't have to, like, you don't have to do that. But he doesn't see that, and it completely breaks her. I love Sakura just being there and be like, just tell me what happened. And it works out really well, because it doesn't have to be him taking everything on and taking that burden on to want to do it himself, because he doesn't want to include the others, doesn't want to cause this big thing that is about to occur, right? He doesn't want to, because he thinks that he can handle it on his own, and also it's a personal issue, so there's no need to bring others involved in that. So all that makes sense, and I get it from his perspective, but they don't care about that. They're willing to help you, and Sakura's job as the leader, especially of his own class here, is to look and utilize everybody else that he has with him. I mean, they don't have to, but it's still to protect those people and care for those people and just do the things that he can. So he's gonna be there in any moment that he feels is possible, messing around and teasing with them, but finding out what happened and what went down. Not good, not a good situation for them to be in. I love her just breaking down and him not knowing what to do and trying to figure out, and just remembering Kota being like, just say I got this, like, you're good, brother. Like, that's enough to really motivate everybody. I love this. Those was really cute too. Just be like, I'm not giving you. Now we must figure out, what do we do? Do we bring the others in on it? Do we just think about, do we figure it out until he gets his image? And there's no more hiding that you can do. The running into the hall is really good. From the moment we get this first cut of just him running out like this, to the moment that we switch here and Sakura's running in the background like that, it looks good. This is like what Gohan's tries and does with the with the staircases, you know, but everything looks goofy when they do it. It actually looks good here. And it was just really fun. We end up getting the image. Basically, what I'm gathering is they're beating the shit out of Buddy. So his reasoning for staying a part of this group, because he later does explore and talk about it when he went to meet up with him and how things didn't really go too well, and he tried to yell at him and call it off. My understanding is either one, they're just utilizing him for whatever, right? They're just trying to take the money and everything that they can get out of him. But why exactly, like with all that being the case, are you staying within the group? Well, it could just be general fear, right? It could be general, no matter what I do, if I try and get away from them, if I try and receive help from others or do something else, they're going to come after me and things are going to go bad, or maybe they're threatening him with family or something else, right? Like there's a variety of things that can go in, and it forces him almost to stay in. And now he's trying to protect his other friend who comes in to save him and being like, brother, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, I chose to be here. I want to be a part of this group. And it's like, maybe he really doesn't, but he is a little worried about what's going to happen. I mean, it could also just be something similar to what we just had with Choji, right? A situation where he entered in this group believing that they were something when in reality they don't actually stand for that, and they just got you in. And once they get you in the doors, you kind of lock yourself in. And now he almost is at like a point where he's sitting there and he's like, okay, I made the decision to join. I made the decision to do this. I have to live that out. I don't need to involve or bring anybody else kind of into it. Similar situation that Anzai finds himself in here as well. So now he's trying to make up for those mistakes and everything, and also just prove to himself that he can do all this and he is capable of bringing himself out of this, which isn't probably the smart thing. There could be a variety of others that I'm just not picking up on or don't really feel like theorizing on either. But there's also definite reasons as to why somebody would stay in, even when they are in the situation that they find themselves in. So I'm not like too angry at him or anything for that. But we do need to take advantage and do something to try and probably help him, or at least hear his story a little bit more when he doesn't have to fear for, him getting beat up or the people around him that he might care of, and get him into a situation where we can at least hear his side. I love Sakura just hearing that though and being like, all right, fuck it, let's go. we got some work to do, realizing it's literally his job and I'm just doing this due to the promise and everything I made. And this is also personal just for me, as everybody else pulls up. I thought it was just going to be our little immediate group. I didn't realize it was going to be all of the class, and I fucking love that they all are like, no, brother, we are here, and all of them working together. I think it worked out so good. They watch from above, see the entire squad roll out. That's so cool. Really fun, and it does an excellent job, I think, of getting me excited for what is to come, while definitely leaves me a little sour because then I have to wait for Lord knows how long for what is to come, but I guess that's a good way to sell it and get you invested and engaged to either get the source material or come back for more. We can talk about the series as a whole now, I guess. I don't think I want to spend too much time on this. I just don't really think I do, but we'll run through it. I think the easiest way for me to describe this is something that is a very enjoyable watch. I don't think I come out of this, and this is also a personal, this isn't like me giving a full review, in depth with pre-written things and stuff. I feel like I always have to preface that because there's always somebody who complains, on me maybe not touching on or doing things. I feel like that's, I guess, necessary. It's literally just a series that I would throw on each week. I didn't sit here dreading like, I have to record this or anything, right? And I smiled, I laughed my way through a lot of the moments. I found some really cool things with the action. I didn't dislike or hate really any of the characters, and it was just fun. I felt like a lot of the reasonings that a lot of them had for the things that they did, or the messages that they were trying to get across, were very understandable. They're something that you can either take onto yourself and relate to, or you can just really understand and see where they're coming from, and a lot of it just really tracks. Well, I don't think a lot of that stuff was the most in-depth and the most insane, crazy things, and it was like I saw it for the first time or heard it put into words in this way, and I was like, I've never even considered or thought about anything that way. I don't. So I don't think it's like the most groundbreaking thing either, but it's similar to everything else. Like the characters that we all go through and witness here, I don't think any of them are the most unique or interesting in any respect, really. And I don't come out of this loving entirely any of them either, but I think that they're all just solid and good and have things that make me a little bit invested, or just be like, yeah, I can kind of get behind them or root for them, while not being overly attached in any sort of way. And that's just how I feel a lot of the series kind of came down to, in the simplest form of how I can put it, is just, it's good. It's not great. It's not perfect or amazing, but it's not bad. And it's not something I'd be like, this is mid. It finds itself slotted in like in that good category. So if we had like tiers that we were going for, it wouldn't be like C, but it wouldn't be like A. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it's just finds itself nicely slotted within it. And there's not much I really have to complain about it. I think it takes its time with everything that it needed to. It didn't speed through anything. I felt like a lot of the situations didn't find themselves to be dragging out. I sat here and I was like, thumbs up for me at the end of each episode. I was like, this was good. It was fun. And I have no complaints over that. Shows like that are very fun, and they're easy to put on because they can allow you to come back. They're very accessible. They're easy to recommend to other people. And that's not me trying to discredit at all the author or anything for that matter, but it's just kind of how I feel. And the hundreds of series and things that I've seen throughout my lifetime, I don't think it's, the most amazing thing I've seen, but I definitely think it's quality, and I have no complaints there. The biggest plus throughout the entirety of it, of course, has to come and give credit to Cloverworks with the excellent work that they did. I felt a lot of it just looked extremely quality. There wasn't really any inconsistent moments or anything that I felt really jumped out to me that I disliked. All the characters remained pretty consistent with their animation and their designs and stuff. I feel like there was nothing wonky that was going on with them. The action sequences were very entertaining, extremely fun, choreographed extremely well. The music inputs, the direction. So the direction overall, I would argue as well, was just extremely solid. There was a vision that could be seen, and it worked itself out very nicely. I think that they added music at the exact right times. The tone of it fit extremely well at the different moments that we had insert songs, especially throughout all the fights. The camera work throughout a lot of the fights made it extremely dynamic, which added to the entertainment value. That's the one thing where, when I just mentioned everything about the story itself being like at a certain level, the animation itself is something where I'm like, that really was elevated and extremely done well, where there wasn't, I wouldn't say it was just like good. I would say that was really great to amazing. And I really thoroughly enjoyed that. Let me say, what else do I want to touch on? Briefly, I guess. The OP, fucking awesome, actually excellent. Probably the best one that I heard this season. I was very behind. Actually, this entire year I've been behind on seasonals and stuff. So I don't really know where it would stand on the bigger scale of things, but it's probably my favorite one that I heard from the very few shows I even decided to watch this season. The ED, I was pretty decent for what it was. The insert songs I thought were really excellent when all of those came up. I thought the character designs throughout the series were extremely cool, and definitely all the characters had their little own unique things to them. I feel like you get that a lot with like these large scale cast type of things. Typical shonen series or delinquent series as well tend to have bigger casts. And I think that this does a good job at really highlighting or making them all stand out in different ways and seem a little bit more unique. I'd say probably Ume was my favorite character throughout this. I do wish some of them we had a little bit more expansion on, like Suo, even Ume himself. Just a bunch of the characters I do wish like had that, but I guess that's why we have so much longer for the story to progress. So I can't really get mad if we don't get that initially here, because we need to mark or understand that this isn't condensed into all of one of what it is. This is just a single small portion in a larger scaled story is what I'd assume. Yeah, there's probably a bunch more I can really go into if I want. Nothing's coming to mind here. Like I said, I'm just going to try and keep it fairly brief for what it is. I enjoyed myself, and I think that's all that you guys really need to take away from that if you were curious about how I was feeling. Leave any comments about how you feel about the series overall, what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like. Are you excited for season 2? You're going to read the manga? Did you drop the series at any point? I don't know why you'd be watching the reaction if you did, but I guess just how you feel overall. I enjoyed it, and I likely will be here. Like I said at the beginning, I don't know if I'm gonna read manga or if I'm just gonna wait for series, and if I do wait for series, if I'm even recording for at that time, or if I'm gonna decide to be like, yeah, I want to continue the second season and stuff. It all kind of depends on a variety of factors, so we'll just wait and we'll end up seeing. I guess we can hope for a early 2025 release, but I'd argue by the fact that they just said 2025, it's probably going to be like mid to late, would be my assumption there. Thank you very much for all the support and everything throughout this entire series. I hope you guys did enjoy quite a bit, though. If you liked it, all the like and subscribe to me lots, and me feel free to check out the videos in the channel, leave comments with this episode of series. I'll be back for a new summer anime very soon. We are starting a bunch of other shows on the channel very soon, probably in this next week or two as well. So check out those if you are interested as well. Have a great one. Peace.